Okay, so there's one thing I want to mention before I actually start this review because I know I'm going to forget. This might be a bit of a spoiler, so if you want to skip this part to start the review, go ahead. They kill off Marcy in this film. Marcy, who is Lex Luthor's assistant, if you guys know the Superman animated series or some other writings with Superman. This is Lex Luthor's like biggest assistant. You know, they was like this, you know, and they just killed her off like it was nothing. I don't get that. Don't worry, this happens like in the middle of the film. It's really not that much of a spoiler, but that was so weird, wasn't it? This review is brought to you by Snapple. No, I'm kidding. Snapple would never, they would never sponsor me. Hey everyone, SoranotRoxas here, back from the theater. I can completely prove it because here's my Batman v Superman ticket. And, okay, before I go any further with this review, I just want to let people know, if you're going to scream fanboyism, because I actually made a video, a little controversial video on the second reaction trailer for Batman v Superman. You know, the one where they reveal every fucking thing about the movie, about Doomsday being in it and some other stuff, Kryptonite and all of that. Lex and experimenting on Zod's body. All that stuff is in the movie, okay? So I'm not giving anything away by saying that. This is a spoiler-free review. I will not spoil this movie for you, okay? I'm possibly going to do like I did... just turn the light around. I'm possibly going to do like I did last time with Star Wars. I'm going to put like no spoilers in the title just to let people know that. But with that also being said, if you cannot take any form of criticism on your favorite character, whether it's Superman or Batman, you know, please, by all means, you can leave. Alright, just go ahead and give this video a dislike or whatever and go. Okay, because I really don't want to get into the fanboyism here. With that being said, before you go, just know that I found this movie to be just okay. Alright, so I'm about to get into the review portion. I'm about to critique this movie in a minute, okay? If you don't like that, or if you can't handle that, by all means leave now. Go ahead, I'll wait. It's fine, go ahead, go. The door's right there for you. Make sure you hit the dislike on your way out. Is he gone? Okay, so let's get into the review of Batman v Superman. Now, like I just said a moment ago, I found the film to be okay. In the internet, it seems to be to the point where you either have to hate the film or you have to love it. I'm somewhere in between here. It's not a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes bad, to me, personally. I have seen much worse movies. I sat through fucking Fantastic Four. I sat through the last Paranormal Activity movie. Okay, I sat through 50 Shades of fucking Grey last year, around this time. I am not afraid of bad movies. But at the same time, I do know bad movies when I see them. I don't think this is a bad film, even though the plot is very convoluted, is all over the place. There are like 4 different fucking movies going on here. I'll get to that in a second, okay? I'm not going to try to make this review too long because the power on my camera is actually about to go out. So if I was doing a rating for like Rotten Tomatoes, I'll probably give this movie about a 50. Yeah, you know, it's definitely 50, 56 possibly would be my highest. You guys know me, I do my whole rating, it's always in the description. I'm just going to go ahead and say the rating out here first. Out of 4 stars, this movie gets about 2. I was going to say 1.5, but, you know, the fight scenes are done really well. The fight scenes is what gives it that extra star, otherwise this would have been 1 easily. If there was anybody else, if this was not a Batman and Superman movie, if they was not in this movie, or even Wonder Woman herself, this movie would not get the rating that I just gave it. 2 stars out of 4. Okay? Now with that also being said, let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning, because there's actually, believe it or not, there's a lot to talk about. I can go for so long, but like I said, the energy on this battery is not too good. Maybe I might make a spoiler section. I normally don't do a spoiler thing, but I'm going to try not to spoil it, okay? I am going to try not to spoil it. So let's start with the actors themselves. Ben Affleck as Batman and Jeremy Irons as Alfred, respectively, are fantastic in this. I would love to see a standalone film with just those two with some Batman villains in it. That will be great. I don't know if Suicide Squad, I know Ben Affleck's going to be in Suicide Squad and Batman's going to be in it. I don't know if we're going to get a lot of Batman or we're just going to concentrate mostly on the Suicide Squad. And we should concentrate mostly on the Suicide Squad. It's their fucking movie. So we'll see. But, you know, this was also called Batman vs. Superman, but it felt like a Batman movie with Superman in it. So anything can happen, especially with Warner Brothers. Number 2, Henry Cavill as the Man of Steel himself is just like the first film. There is some emotional weight to him this time. Mostly Superman is sort of used as a plot point rather than the character, and I wish that they would have changed it for this one. They don't. It's kind of like Man of Steel in terms of his performance, and I don't hate Henry Cavill. You know, I seen him in other stuff, and actually one other thing, and he can act, you know, when he wants to. He definitely can act. I don't know whether he was directed this way or what, but this is just... I love Superman, though. I do love Superman. Batman is my favorite hero. Batman is my favorite DC hero, I should say. But I do love Superman. Even with that being said, I do find Superman very bland. And this movie will not change your mind on that fact if you think the same way as me. Superman is great. He is awesome. But he's very bland as a character, and there are certain instances in comic books or in other writings that would have him be more interesting. I guess you could say Infinite Crisis or The Injustice, where he's a very interesting character. He's more complex there and very dark, and it's just great. And it seems like they're about to do some Injustice thing here with this movie, or at least in the future projects. I'm not going to give that away. If you see the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Number 3, completing the Trinity is Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. She does fine as Wonder Woman. This was something that that didn't really bother me as much because I didn't know anybody else who could possibly play her. I'm not that big of a Wonder Woman fan as most people are, especially when it comes to like who hiring which actress to do what. So, you know, she pulled it off and she did well. I found her accent a little bit annoying, but I think she can't get rid of that. You know, as much as an actor that she can try to be, she can't get rid of that accent. But I guess they can just go and just say, oh, it's an Amazonian accent, so that will be fine. And then you have the rest of the cast, you know, like Lawrence Fishburne playing Perry White, you know, Amy Adams playing Lois Lane. Lois Lane could be easily written out of this movie, and it would possibly, she could have been written out of the movie for the most part, except for possibly the beginning and the end, and that's about it. And that's like literally the only important parts to her, because she has like a little side story going on. There's an investigative side going on with her, and we're going to jump into the plot points in a second, because I can just list the problems that I have with this movie, and I hate coming up with lists of problems for a movie because I most likely end up not liking it. Like I said, I found this okay. Then we have Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, and I said this in my reaction video that I was not looking forward to his performance at all. And the trailer, I didn't find him funny. I thought he was very annoying. So after seeing the movie itself, what do I think about his performance? Still kind of annoying, not as annoying as I thought it would have been. He actually gets a couple of funny jokes in there too, and his mannerisms, his mannerisms are definitely Jokerish. I know a lot of people have said that all over the place. It seemed like he was trying to audition for Joker, and they gave him Lex Luthor and they gave Jared Leto the Joker role, but he still wanted to pull off a Joker. I don't know whether he was directed this way, whether it was written this way for him. If anything, I can possibly blame the writers for this movie because it's mostly all over the place. But at the same time, I heard like an hour or so of this movie was cut out. It feels like that. There is so much going on, and there's so much they want to get across. There is even a reference to Apocalypse and Apocalypse of followers and the Dark Side symbol. If you guys know who Dark Side is, then that's going to be a big plot point for you. And I'm not going to say where it comes in at, but that reference is also thrown in there. Like I said, Doomsday is also in there, so you have the Trinity fighting Doomsday towards the end. You have Lois Lane, who's doing her whole investigative thing to try to clear Superman's name, even though there's this stupid idea. Okay, so everyone is trying to they're trying to blur the lines between whether Superman is a saint or just a plain vigilante who's taking the law in his own hands and blah, blah, blah. You know, same thing they did with Batman, okay? This isn't anything new. But they do ask the question, does the world need Superman? Or if we need him, should we, you know, regulate him? Should we be... like say, okay, Superman, you can go out and do this, but you can only do that if we say so. So you can't do that here, but you can do that here. Kind of what Captain America Civil War is doing, but just not as smart. Okay, but I'm not gonna mention Marvel. I'm gonna try not to mention Marvel in the rest of this review. Okay, so that's the idea. Do we really need Superman in our world? And I was like, yeah, you know, that's actually not a bad question. If the whole movie was like that, that'll be fine. That is just one part of the movie, actually. And then from there, we also have Batman, who's doing his own investigation into LexCorp to see what the connection between that and what happened in the desert, and trying to find kryptonite that he can use against Superman, and he's trying to fight Superman. Then you got Lex story going on, who's trying to manipulate everything in the shadows. And then, of course, you have the fight with Darkseid, which seems like it's completely separate, but ultimately falls into Lex Luthor's story. So you got like 4 or 5 plot points going on there. And it feels very convoluted because there's like a whole bunch of stuff going all over the place. I'll just have to wipe off my screen there. And the problem is that you're not invested in this whatsoever. You didn't build up these characters. You just threw Wonder Woman in there at the end. And yeah, you know, she is interesting, but I was like, and I would tell you, I actually went to the theater here with my mother because my mom, she wanted to see, you know, Ben Affleck do Batman, because we was like, you know, Ben Affleck being Batman, you know, we was both a little bit skeptical about that. So I told her, I was like, okay, you know, when Batman Superman comes out, you know, you can come to the theater with me and we see the movie. So we left actually enjoying Ben Affleck and Jeremy Irons more than we did anything else in the film. I actually reached over to her, I leaned over to her and I was like, you know, this would be a great Batman film. If everything else was taken out and it was just like the Batman scenes, this would be a really decent Batman film. But unfortunately it wasn't. It was thrown in with a whole bunch of other shit. This actually makes me a little skeptical about having a Justice League movie, because it seems like they really want to get into it. Oh, and that whole Aquaman's in the movie, or the Flash is in the movie. Aquaman gets like one scene for 16 seconds, I kid you not. And it's through a surveillance cam. Flash gets 2 scenes, one very interesting, by the way, and it actually seems like what I mentioned before about Injustice, or was it Flashpoint or something? Was it Justice League Flashpoint, or was it Injustice? One of them that has something to do with the Flash, and the Flash is wearing this like really cool armor. You know, you'll have to see the movie to know exactly what I'm talking about there. It really is interesting. From there, you also have Cyborg, which gets like 20 seconds of screen time. That's about it. Wonder Woman was in this movie more than all 3 of those characters combined. And even then, her scenes do really nothing for me. She's looking for this photograph. She finds the photograph. That's it. That's her story. Okay. Very interesting, I guess. It's not until the end where I'm actually like, okay, you know, Wonder Woman is awesome. I wish there was more of her so I could say that she's really is awesome, but yeah, her fight scene was done really well. They seem to get every one of her abilities right. Okay, so let's move on to Batman, my boy Batman, my main guy Batman, okay? This is a gritty fucking Batman, okay? Batman. This is a gritty Batman, okay? This is the Dark Knight for real, man. He don't take no prisoners. He takes no jokes. He will blow you away. I am not kidding. Batman kills so many people in this film. There is this one part where he runs into a car, then after the car flips over, you can still say, okay, you know, the guys inside, they could possibly be knocked out, but they can still be alive even from this wreckage. He attaches the car to his car with a chain. He attaches a link to the car and he pulls the car along just to throw it at another one. It's so awesome. Ben Affleck does a really good job in here, and I seen the Sad Affleck video, by the way. I know it was going viral last night. Ben Affleck, you know, I know he's not going to see this, obviously, but he has nothing to worry about. He really doesn't. You are the best thing about this film. You have nothing to worry about. If you continue to be Batman, I will be there. I will be there in my seat, and I will be clapping for you, sir. That can be said. Jeremy Irons, if you continue to be Alfred, you're a great substitution for Michael Caine. I might like him a little bit better than Michael Caine, obviously. But really good job. The Batsuit itself, fantastic. The armor Batsuit is so fucking awesome. The Batmobile, which, oh my god, didn't that remind you guys of Arkham Knight? Tell me that did not remind you of Arkham Knight. It was so fucking cool. Yeah, this Batman was very brutal, breaking arms. He was trying not to kill people, but there was like some times where he gets so angry, so into the fight to where he will punch somebody, grab their gun, and just like shoot 3 guys. It's so cool. Even though he's using the other person's hand, he's like, he shot. Hey, look, you shot your own friends. I didn't kill them. You killed them. It's so great. He can somehow get away with that. And nobody bats an eye of him killing like these normal criminals. But let me talk to you about the biggest plot holes here. Like I just said, nobody bats an eye when, let me see the time on this. Okay, I got 18 more minutes left. I'm 15 minutes, I'm almost 16 minutes in. Okay, let me hurry up and end this. Let me tell you about the biggest plot holes to me that I see in this film. And this was even though Batman is like, you know, doing these really lethal methods, and you can see why. You get his motivation, you know why. At this point in time, if you guys know the Red Hood and all that stuff, are not even the Red Hood. You guys know that the Death in the Family, the infamous comic book where Robin dies, Robin is dead at this point. And the Joker obviously is the one who kills him. They give you so many winks to that. They actually give you the suit. You saw it in the trailer. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you've seen the trailers. So Batman can kill off petty criminals in here because he's very lethal. But Superman, they think that he killed off these terrorists in cold blood. Not only are the fact that these guys are terrorists, and we actually care that he killed off people that was most likely kidnapping people, raping people, setting villages on fire, but apparently the world cares a lot about their lives more than they do their people in their in Metropolis when he was toppling buildings trying to fight Zod. Whatever, that makes complete sense. But not only the fact that these terrorists were killed, but the fact that these terrorists were killed with bullets. Even though they were killed with bullets, they somehow think that Superman had something to do with it. I don't know whether that was explained. Maybe somebody can explain that to me a little bit better. Maybe I'll ask one of my friends, you know, he saw the movie, maybe he knows a little bit more. I didn't get that. I don't get how they think that Superman killed off these people when these people were obviously killed with bullets. If you did a fucking autopsy, or if you even look at these guys' faces, because a lot of them was shot point blank in the face, then you would know that it wasn't Superman that did this. Superman would evaporate them with his laser eyes, or he would rip their body in half if he was like really serious about this. But apparently, Superman uses guns too? I don't know where the fuck they got this idea from. And this literally is like the lingering plot that goes out through the entire movie. Until it gets to the whole Doomsday thing, then they just throw it out the window and they just want Superman to do his thing. So they see Superman as a threat because of this, and the guy killed all fucking terrorists, okay? He killed off black version of ISIS. He's just... God. He killed off these terrorists, and actually he didn't kill off these terrorists. I'm saying what people think. They think that he killed off these terrorists, but why is that bad? I don't get it. I don't get it. Batman's killing people left and right. And, you know, and they even say at one point that it seems like the police is, you know, standing back and letting him do this, letting him, like, beat the hell out of these criminals. But when Superman kills terrorists, or at least they think he's killing these terrorists, and they're like, oh, okay, that's not good, even though he clearly says in the scene to Lois that he didn't kill anybody. Makes no sense. I didn't get that. That really got me. I was like, how do they think that Lex Luthor does find out Superman's identity. I will say that much. He does know Batman's identity. How does he know? The movie doesn't explain. He just knows because I guess he's super smart. And lastly, this movie was so long too. I mean, this was like 2 hours and 30 minutes, people. 2 hours and I think it was 2 hours and 33 minutes if we count the credits. There's like 3 or 4 different endings. I'm like, come on, people, you gotta end. You made your little speech at the end about, you know, maybe justice can start with ourselves and blah, blah, blah. And yes, there is like a speech at the end. I'm just gonna say Zootopia did better. And it's so funny. That was the last movie I seen. And I told my mother, I was like, before we went to go see this, I was like, if this movie isn't better than a 4-foot talking bunny cop film who teams up with a fox to solve a missing persons case, that sounds completely ridiculous. If this film isn't better than that film, then it's not. Then you're doing something wrong. When a talking bunny is more interesting than an animated creature, but whatever. But apparently that's a kids movie, so that doesn't matter. I've seen both Zootopia and Deadpool recently before I seen this. That's what the last 2 I reviewed, right? Before I seen this movie, and they were way more entertaining. Panda doing Kung Fu was way more entertaining than this. I'm sorry. The fight scenes was good. Zack Snyder can definitely do fight scenes. Everything else just really didn't click for me. It was all over the place. By the time we was like an hour and 40 minutes in, I was like, are we gonna see Batman and Superman fight? The fuck? I came to see Batman and Superman kick the fuck out of each other. And then when it happens, it's awesome, but it's short. And it's just so we can throw fucking Doomsday in there. And when that happens, it's awesome. So, I'm conflicted. You know, there's some awesome stuff, and then there's some what the fuck stuff. But it's mostly what the fuck. Some stuff just didn't click with me. Oh, and the whole thing, they do Batman's past again, to the point where even my mother herself, who doesn't read the comic books or anything like that, or watch like any of the animated features, she leans over and she's like, really, we're going through this again? We're seriously going through this again? I'm like, yes, I bet that's what a lot of people were saying. Seriously, people in the theater were just like, oh, I'm not kidding. We had a packed theater. They was literally rolling their eyes or just going, you know, like, oh, come on, really, with Batman's origin story, enough. And they twisted it. They made it differently because, number one, Batman's parents didn't go see Excalibur, whatever the fuck movie that was. Okay, I'm nitpicking here. This is nitpicking time now. This is the nerd coming out of me. Batman's parents didn't go see whatever the fuck that movie was. Batman's parents did not get shot right outside the theater. They went down an alleyway. Remember that? Remember that movie? Not only that, Thomas Wayne did not swing at the mugger. Okay, he wouldn't swing at the mugger because he had a gun pointed at him point blank. And then Martha Wayne tried to attack the mugger as well. There's a gun at you point blank. You're not going to fucking... Don't run up to that guy. You don't run up to the guy that has a gun pointed at your face. Well, I think this video went on long enough. Superman's struggle was not interesting at all. I wish they went more with that angle. There's a couple of scenes about Superman's like struggling, like whether he should be there or not. It's very quick. There's even a part when he goes up on a mountain and he's speaking to Ghost Dad, who is played by Kevin Costner. And, you know, from the first film, and he's talking about like, Dad, I miss you, and then he comes back to be Superman anyway. So what was the point of that scene? I guess it was to add emotional weight, but if he was just going to just come back to being Superman so quickly, and I'm guessing at least like a day went by. I mean, he has the beard now, so I don't know. He was clean shaven throughout most of the movie, and then he started growing like a little stubble. So I guess it was some time that passed, possibly about a week, but they don't explain it in the movie. The movie just seems like it's missing some parts, and that's the biggest problem for me. Okay, so once again, rating for this film, 2 out of 4. It was convoluted, although it takes no advantage of its plot, and there's way too many plots going on at once. I already said it's convoluted, so with that being said, a couple of people seem miscast. That's it. You know, if you want like my real consensus on the film, read the description box. I'm out of here. Okay, I talked about this long enough. I'm totally done with it. I possibly won't see it again. I would say if you're a fan of both the comic books, both Batman or Superman, or anything related to these guys, DC, whatever, comic book fan in general, go see this film. Make up your mind for your own. Don't believe the critics, you know. Also, don't believe the hype because it's really not that good. But it's not that bad either. So with that being said, go see it and come to a conclusion for yourself. Well, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed my review, please leave a like. If you didn't, dislike it. If you managed to stay long enough, good for you, because you actually managed to take other people's opinions, and you can still make up your own mind, rather than get pissed off at people for not, you know, sort of believing in what you believe in. Okay? I don't think this was a good film. I just thought it was okay. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to try to go this entire review without saying anything Marvel related. Although I found it very funny that there was actually a trailer for Captain America before the fucking movie. That's so funny. Is that camera on?